Had a lot of people ask me over the years, is the stuff that happens in Full Metal Jacket, does that really happen in Marine Corps boot camp? We're going to settle that today. So let's watch it.
Sir, Private Brown, sir! Bullshit, from now on you're Private Snowball. Do you like that name? Yes, sir! Well, there's one thing that you won't like, Private Snowball. They don't serve fried chicken and watermelon.
All right, let's start off with, the picking on Private Snowball or picking on whoever. Yes, that happens, right? Now, the way they can string together words to insult you or heckle you is a real thing, right? I saw this before I went in the Marines, right? I'm dating myself here. I think it came out in 89. Right before I went, I saw this, and I go, come on. My buddies are like, that had been in, were telling me, yeah, it's like that. Here's the only difference. There's 3 or 4 DIs doing that and screaming at you. So it's actually more intense, but the little ditties they can come up with, we'll keep going, is just so classic, and they do it. I don't know where they teach them that stuff. Where they teach you these insults.
On a daily basis in my mess hall. Yes, sir!
You, John Wayne? Is this me?
Who said that? Who the fuck said that?
So here's where you'd have 3 DIs,
Sucker down here who just signed his own death warrant.
Making the rounds.
Nobody, huh? The very fucking godmother said it. I'm fucking standing. I will PT you all until you fucking die. I'll PT you until your asshole for some...
Yeah, this does happen. I mean, no one's mouthing off like that, I can tell you. They just met their drill instructor. That's kind of the scene, right? It's a senior DI, right? So the senior DI usually walks out, and the 3 Greenbelt pit bulls are just, tearing up the poodle, which is you. But this kind of stuff happens. No one mouths off like that I've ever seen. Hey, if you guys seen that, put that below. We had a recruit mouth off. Never seen that one.
Buttermilk! Was it you scroungy little fuck, huh? Sir, no, sir! You little piece of shit, you look like a fucking worm. I'll bet it was you. Sir, no, sir!
Sir, I said it, sir!
Well, no shit. What have we got here? A fucking comedian, private joker. I admire your honesty. Hell, I like it.
And that stuff, the best thing to do is fess up. I mean, in this example, I've never seen it where someone's just mouthing off from a distance. But if you screw up in some way, the DIs probably already know, so just take the beating. But this is pretty classic, the stuff they come up with. It makes me laugh to this day, and I've been out a long time, because they come up with it, and it really happens. I don't know where they get this crap.
You can come over to my house and fuck my sister. You little scumbag! I got your name. I got your ass! You will not laugh. You will not cry. You will learn by the numbers. I will teach you. Now get up. Get on your feet. You had best unfuck yourself, or...
So the squad bay looks like that. They should be rifles. Maybe they just got their rifles. But, getting punched, getting pushed, I was on the quarterdeck and I couldn't push anymore, and all of a sudden there's a boot in my crotch. That stuff happen? Yeah, it happens. I know it happens today, too. I mean, just a little motivation. Have I ever been punched in the gut like that? No. Have I been hit in the head with a rifle? Yeah, that stuff happens. I mean, I think it happens today. If it doesn't, hey, put it below. Tell me some of the stories you guys have seen where the DIs get you, and they don't get you maybe just like that, but they get their fair share of you.
Well, unscrew your head and shit down your neck. How tall are you, Private? Sir, 5'9", sir! 5'9". I didn't know they stacked shit that high. You trying to squeeze an inch in on me somewhere, huh? Sir, no, sir! Bullshit, it looks to me like the best part of you ran down the crack of your mama's ass and ended up as a brown stain on the mattress. I think you've been cheated. Where in hell are you from anyway?
The worst part is I've seen this movie so many times, and I still laugh. Not because of the movie. I laugh because during the movie, when it came out, I didn't laugh. After boot camp, when I saw it years later, right? So I was out in the Marine Corps 5 or 10 years. I watched it again. And I laugh so hard because they come up with this crap. And again, I don't know where they come up with it, how they come up with it, but they do. And you will see. And you guys, again, put it below, sanitized version of some of the crap your DIs said. Some of the crazy just ditties they'd say to insult you. You'd be confused. Then make you ask them a question, right?
Sir, Texas, sir! Holy dog shit! Texas, only steers and queers come from Texas, Private Cowboy. And you don't much look like a steer to me, so that kind of narrows it down. Do you suck dicks? Sir, no, sir! Are you a Peter Pan?
You know, that's kind of where we get a little bit off, because if he was from Texas, he'd be in San Diego, right? He wouldn't be at PI, but, you know, whatever. I mean, I don't need to be too much of a purist. It's a good movie, and it gets the point across.
Sir, no, sir! I'll bet you're the kind of guy that would fuck a person in the ass and not even have the goddamn common courtesy to give him a reach around. I'll be watching you. Parents have any children that live?
Sir, yes, sir.
I bet they regret that. You're so ugly you could be a modern art masterpiece. Dicks?
Sir, no, sir.
Bullshit, I'll bet you could suck a golf ball.
You know, so being in myself before there was Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and, you know, there was homosexuality was okay in the military, just keep it simple. This kind of stuff was all the time, you know, and it wasn't necessarily was the guy gay, it was just an insult. You know, growing up, that was a very normal thing. And when I was in the Marines, it was a very normal thing. That wasn't atypical to hear that kind of stuff. So I don't know what it's like now. I'm sure they can't say it for 1,000 reasons, but this was very common language. You know, I'm not that old.
Through a garden hose.
Sir, no, sir.
I don't like the name Lawrence. Only faggots and sailors are called Lawrence. From now on, you're Gomer Pyle.
Sir, yes, sir.
Do you think I'm cute, Private Pyle? Do you think I'm funny?
Sir, no, sir.
Fucking time, sweetheart.
Sir,
You know, I just can't imagine a guy between the one mouthing off from a distance and this guy with a grin. You know, the amount of pain you would go through. I mean, this just kind of touches the surface. You'd have 3 DIs just coming down on you, wearing you out. You know, bends and thrusts, side star hops. There'd be a lot more to it. But, you know, the dialogue here is so good because I guess, you know, Gunny here made this up. Like, they just said he was going to be a backup or something. They just said run with it because he was a DI. That's where he gets this stuff. And it's been handed down. I hope it's still the same.
Sir, Private Pyle, I'm gonna give you 3 seconds. Exactly 3 fucking seconds to wipe that stupid-looking grin off your face, or I will gouge out your eyeballs and skull fuck you!
That was a classic scene, right?
Are you through grinning?
sir, yes, sir.
Bullshit!
Now, I could see that. Like, choke yourself, right? He's not snatching him saying, I'm going to choke you. No one can say he choked him. He was choking himself, right? So, that kind of play on words, I'm not saying this exact thing happens, but there's plenty of times I had my hands put on by the drill instructor, and I probably deserved it. You know, to keep me out of harm's way, or to keep me to get another push-up. Or, you know, God forbid you run into a DI somewhere, you know, on a stairwell or come out of a hatch or something. They're going to get you. You know, they're going to get you. They're not going to let that slide.
I can't hear you!
Sir, yes, sir.
Bullshit, I still can't hear you! Sounds off like you've got a pair!
Sir, yes, sir.
That's enough!
Hey, if you guys like what you're watching, please subscribe, hit the bell, and share it with your buddies. Share the wealth.
Private Pyle, what are you trying to do to my beloved car?
Sir, I don't know, sir.
You are dumb, Private Pyle, but do you expect me to believe that you don't know left from right?
Sir, no, sir.
Then you did that on purpose. You want to be different.
Sir, no, sir.
What side was that from?
Now, have I seen guys mess up on drill? Yeah, all the time, especially in the beginning. And they stand out like a sore thumb. I mean, this was pretty bad. Left, right. You can't get the right shoulder arms, left shoulder arms. Did the DIs do stuff? So if you're in that platoon, unless you're in that same right behind him, you're going to see it. But everywhere else, you're keeping your head and you're keeping your eyeballs straight. You don't want that, right? You don't want to be the next guy that's getting the wrath of the drill instructor. Again, like I say, the only thing missing in this movie is there's one drill instructor. You know, they show, I think, a couple others periodically, but think about this. You got a senior DI and 3 drill instructors. Normally, you have 3 all the time that are riding you, right? On drill, typically the senior DI, because, you know, they get graded on it in final drill. But this, you know, you don't want to find out what's going on at the end. You may hear it and think, but you don't want to know.
Pyle?
Sir, left side, sir.
Are you sure, Private Pyle?
Sir, yes, sir.
What side was that, Private Pyle?
Sir, right side, sir.
Don't fuck with me again, Pyle. Pick up your fucking cover. Tonight, your kids will sleep with your rifle. You will give your rifle a girl's name. Because this is the only pussy you people are going to get. Your days of finger banging.
Now, obviously, you're not sleeping with the rifles. They're at the end of the rack, locked, right? But conceptually, you know, this is my rifle. You know the serial number. Squad bay is identical. Seems a little wide. but it is like pretty pristine like that. Usually a foot locker in front of the rack, right? So there's a foot locker. But this, I mean, they make it pretty accurate, albeit I think it's in England where they filmed it, but it couldn't be more accurate. He would be an old DI, but you see some of those guys that just lift hard, man. You don't see many gunnies. I see near DIs you would, but again, that would be mostly green belts, but it makes it good with him.
Old Mary Jane Rottencrotch through her pretty pink panties are over. You're married
Yeah.
to this piece, this weapon of iron and wood, and you will be faithful. This is my rifle, this is my gun.
So he talks about Mary Jane Rottencrotch, right? The big one is, and you guys remember this, right? Jody. So it'll be at night when you're trying to wind, you know, before you go to sleep. At night, you don't have much time. Maybe do your boots, get your gear ready. Maybe write a letter if you have time. But they'll talk about Jody. So Jody's doing your old lady, right? Your old lady's getting done by Jody. They're beating down your head. Jody's banging your old lady. So that goes through your head all the time. So when you're in boot camp, I mean, I pretty much broke up with my girlfriend in my head by about a month into boot camp because my DIs told me so many times that Jody was nailing my girlfriend, right?
This is so fun, and this is so fun. This is my rifle, this is my gun. This is so fun, and this is so fun. This is my rifle, this is my gun. This is so fun.
I don't remember doing that one, but all right, this does happen. So I don't remember seeing the foot lockers, but you go by, you're standing there checking your stuff, checking your feet, blisters. You know, you're in shower shoes like you see that. I don't remember seeing a foot locker, but I don't remember how you get chow back to barracks. That's where this gets interesting.
What the fuck is that? What is that private pile?
Sir, jelly donut,
Oh
sir.
man.
A jelly donut?
Sir, yes, sir.
Tail! From now on, whenever private pile fuck.
So they will tell guys, like we had a guy in my platoon, he was good. He could pull, run, do everything, right? But he looked like an iron marshmallow, like when his shirt was off, he just looked soft. He looked like he'd been fed milk all his life. And they did not let him have milk. And they kind of, I don't remember having donuts in chow hall, number one, but he couldn't have milk, right? So that was the deal. No milk, because you look fat. And I don't remember how it came out, but I just know he couldn't have milk. How he got a jelly donut back to the barracks, I don't know. But you would all pay. If this happened, you would pay.
I will punish all of you. And the way I see it, ladies, you owe me for one jelly donut. Now get on your faces.
You see the way his footlocker got tossed? Very common, not in a scenario like this, but very common. Whatever happens, the DIs will just you'll take your footlocker and toss all your woolly possessions in the middle, and they'll just kick it everywhere. And they'll say, get your gear now. And you'll have a boot that's a size 12, one's a size 9. You'll have, your stuff, and at night you have to square it all away. But this is pretty frequent, or pretty normal in the beginning. Well, your gear and your stuff is thrown all over the barracks. That's all the time,
In your mouth.
Footlockers flying.
You're paying for it.
And these are identical to footlockers. Now, this scene people ask a lot about, Code Red or whatever they call that one stupid movie. These kind of things where the DI is trying to get you to, peer pressure, somebody screwing up, we'll call it. It happens. I don't remember this kind of thing at night, but you would get after guys that would screw up in direct ways. I mean, you try to help them at first, but it just, because you all start paying. Everybody else starts pushing. And then everybody else starts getting extra run and duty. And, after a while, it just becomes painful. So I have no doubt this kind of thing happens. I don't remember this specifically happens, but this in my platoon. But, we'd get after guys in different ways. Not this way, but no doubt this happens. Hey, if you guys seen that, put it below. Curious, something like this at night where a guy just gets a beat down. Most of the time I've seen this in the shower where a guy gets a little bit of a beat down. Not like this. So at night, right, you got somebody on fire watch. You got one recruit who's walking around for an hour. His rifle, helmet, fire watch, Which sucks if you ever get fire watch maybe the hour before you have to get up. Not the hour you get up, but the hour before. And then you basically don't sleep. But, yeah, you'd have a guy on fire watch. But he'd just ignore this. If you need to take care of Private Pile Leonard Lawrence because he's such a turd, it happened. No doubt in my mind there. So it looks like they're shooting there, M14, which would have been, figure 68. I'm guessing if I'm wrong, hey, you guys put that below, you experts, on when the M14 would have been at Parris Island. Looks pretty straightforward. He's shooting prone. There was no pits that I recall. I remember shooting out of a pit like that. You gotta have offhand, prone, and kneeling, sitting. So, prone. I think prone was at 300 and 500. Tell me if I'm wrong. I know 500. I don't remember if it was 300, but I don't remember prone. They don't look like they're out at 500, but looks pretty good, right? You're going to see this.
Outstanding, Private Pile. I think we finally found something
Now,
to do well.
one thing you will be doing, right? So every shot you take, you have a little book, and you'll be writing down where the shot hit. They're going to mark it every time, right? That's where the difference is. They're going to mark every shot, pull the target back up, and you know where you hit. So you hit here, your groups are right. So you got an idea where you're shooting. So if your groups are tight, you're on point. If you're over here and here, you got to adjust your windage or dope, whatever. So that's a big difference. Not as funny as the rest of it, but that, stands out in my mind. But that'd be a long scene if they had to pull the target down, mark it, pull the target up every time. So that wouldn't work, right? All right, this scene, it's hard for me to believe this could happen. The range there very tight with what you got. You don't have magazines in the squad bay. You would have rounds. The range is pretty tight place, so it's really hard for me to believe this could ever happen. But it does set the movie up really well. That the guy's just not there. And I had a guy in my platoon. One guy ran away. We had one guy hung himself. Shit does happen like this, sad as it may be, and they shouldn't be there. But this is the extreme. But it does make the movie, right? It gets the point across, this guy's a whack job. Yeah, so I ended on this. But, that kind of thing where the DIs, you have one DI in the DI HUD, right? That's typical. It wouldn't be the senior DI all the time. In this part of the movie where he's shooting, you know, bringing rounds back, a magazine didn't happen. But, you know, it makes for the movie. Hey, thanks for watching.